and of course your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another edition of On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. I am Troy Bif Mills, your host, and it is indeed an honor and a pleasure and a privilege as well for me to be here with you for yet another Tuesday. Beautiful Tuesday, wonderful Tuesday here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And we are coming to you live from WINN FM 98.9. On the Ball is the name of the show, which is heard every Tuesday from 7 to 9 a.m. We don't consider it a regular sports show because we just don't give you the results and tell you this person beat that person. We invite guests, be they analysts, be they commentators, be they players, administrators, associations. So we give you a little more. And we believe in informing you. We believe in educating you when things pop up. Try to define it so you can learn something new. And we try to entertain you. I don't know how much of an entertainer I am, but I haven't been getting any word that I know of, so I think I might be doing a fairly kind of decent job. I got to say, good evening, big ups to my producer, Mr. Tough House of the Tough House Sounds. Thank you for making yourself available. And, of course, those persons who are celebrating happy birthday today. Happy birthday to you. If you're celebrating birthday today, happy birthday to you. If you're celebrating anniversary. But before I go to that, there's a gentleman in camps. I can't remember his name. I think he's celebrating his 99th birthday today. Wow. That's longevity. He just has a single to make. I'm hoping that next year, all like now, we'll be welcoming him into the Centurion Club. I hope he's just playing straight and tickling one around the corner now and then, and you're going through the V to get a single. And is it Mr. Griffin? I can't remember, but happy birthday to you, sir. Down in camp celebrating 99 years today. And those others who are celebrating anniversary, we say happy anniversary to you. If you have achieved something, we say congratulations to you on whatever it is you have achieved, and your job, and your boyfriend, and your wife, and your husband, and your girlfriend. Maybe even if you're divorced, because maybe it might be better times for you, or that to be the case. And your bicycle, I don't know, on your job, congratulations. And if by chance you're going through a period of bereavement, on behalf of the management and staff of WINN FM 98.9 and the board of directors and the On the Ball show, my producer, myself, my family, we say condolences to you. I know in Sandy Point, for the last few weeks, we've been getting a lot of people going to Sandy Point, leaving us. It's like every day you hear somebody gone, every other day somebody from Sandy Point gone to the great beyond. And we say condolences to you. Those who have celebrated between last week, Wednesday, and yesterday, happy belated birthday to you. Do I know of anyone? I can't think of anyone coming off the bat right now. And happy belated anniversary. Oh, yes. How could I forget? My brother-in-law, Pastor Bernard, Apostle Bernard Trevor Huggins. He celebrated on the 20th. So I say, happy belated birthday to you, Apostle Huggins. And my son Zavi, he played some steel band at his church on Sunday for him, touched by his Wounded Hand Ministries up at Shadwell. And Kenny, we have to thank Kenny, Rastaman Kenny, the drummer. He was there with his djembe, playing along. And I tried the thing on the guitar. And maybe it went down kind of decent, I'm hoping. And my sister, Prophetess Michelle Huggins, her birthday was on the 18th. So we say happy belated birthday to her. And when birthdays come around, I remember my father, the late Theodore Reginald Mills. He was extremely good at remembering birth dates. And he always gave a little something on the birth dates. And some people are like that. I had a bit of it and think I'm dropping off at the moment. So, but nonetheless, those who are celebrating between tomorrow and next week, Monday, we say happy birthday in advance, happy anniversary in advance as well. And hope you have it wonderful. We think we have an excellent show for you tonight. We're hoping that you're going to enjoy it. We're going to be talking cricket. We're going to be talking some basketball. We're going to be talking a little bit of football. Am I missing anything? Did I say we're going to be talking basketball, local, and talking about basketball? If I'm not mistaken, the NBA is kicking off tonight, is it? And from what I'm gathering, it's possible that there could be a record tonight. LeBron James, he should be coming up, and he's playing with his son. Well, he and his son are in the same team, and they should be playing. And the regular season kicks off. Knicks versus the Celtics at 7:30. Then Lakers versus Wolves at 10 o'clock. So LeBron James and his son set to make history, father and son. We're talking about something like 20-something, 30 years apart. And that's interesting. And while we're at it, I have to big up two people. Out of SP, where the best be, my uncle. That is Neville Weeks. He's up in New York. Good night, Uncle Neville. How are you? Thanks for the info. Thanks for tuning in. And I was able to spend a few days with him just the other day. Good night, Auntie Carol. And good night to Mr. King. Mr. King is my nephew. Boy, he's something else. Full of life and energy. And the Yankees versus New York Yankees versus LA Dodgers in the World Series. Oh boy, the World Series. Everything the US, every competition the US have is World Series. World Series in basketball, World Series in hockey, World Series in NFL. Maybe they consider themselves the world. I don't know. And New York Liberty won the women NBA first time ever. So I guess Uncle Neville, he lives in New York. He is probably jumping and shouting about that. And we say congratulations to them. Now, where do we go? Let us go to some, and we're going to talk a little bit of cricket later. We have our guest, Mr. Eustace Maynard, cricket commentator and analyst. He will be with us, and we're going to be looking at the West Indies female. They got knocked out of the semi-finals by New Zealand. We're going to be looking at the recently concluded Leeward Islands tournament and the Leeward Islands squad that has been announced for the regional 50-over competition that's starting just now. We're going to be looking at the West Indies team, T20 against Sri Lanka, as well as the one-day internationals also at Sri Lanka. And I don't know if we're going to get to squeeze it in, but when he comes, but a preview. Could you imagine India in this day and age getting bowled out for 46? Yes, in the first innings, they got bowled out for 46. Why, that was something else. And on the other hand, a team made 500 and something and lost a test match. Could you believe that? Boy, that is really something else as well. Well, India, they would have lost that test match. They made 46 in their first innings. New Zealand made 402, 46 all out, that is. New Zealand made 402. And this match started on the 16th to the 20th. And if you take a quick look at it, India's first innings, top score was 20 by Rishabh Pant, the wicket keeper, who batted at number 5, 20 from 49 balls. Then you had 13 by the opener, Yashivi Jaiswal. And would you believe nobody else passed 5? White Sharma 2, Virat Kohli duck, Safraz Khan duck, Rahul duck, Ravindra Jadeja duck, Ravin Chandram Ashwin duck, Kuldeep Yadav 2, Jasprit Barma 1, Mohammad Siraj not out 4. 46 all out with something like 4 extras. And when New Zealand went into bat in their first innings, 402 all out. Devon Conway, the opener, he missed out in a half century. He was 91. Rashin Ravindra, batting at number 4, he was 134. And Tim Southey, batting down there at number 9, he was 65 from 73 balls. That sounded like he was throwing his hand around. In terms of the bowling first innings, my apologies, Southey got 1 from 6 overs. Matt Henry, the other opener, he got a 5 for 13.2 overs, 3 maidens, 15 runs. Wow, 15 runs, 5 wickets. And William O'Rourke, the first change, 12 overs, 6 maidens, 22 runs, 4 wickets. And with the Indian bowling, Bumrah opening 1, Mohammad Siraj opening 2, Ashwin first change, he got 1, Kuldeep Yadav second change, 3 for 99, and Ravindra Jadeja 3 for 72. When India batted a second time, they were 462. And boy, if they had another 150 runs, it could have been something. We don't know. And in terms of the batting, opener Jaiswal, he had 35. Rohit Sharma, the captain, 52. Virat Kohli, 70. Safraz Khan, 150. Ouch! Pant! This gotta hurt. Rishabh Pant, 99. So close, but yet so far. Gosh, that is tough. And in terms of the wickets, Southey he got one, Matt Henry three, O'Rourke got three, Patel got two, Glenn Phillips one. But in the second time, needing 107 runs for victory, New Zealand were 110 for two, with Will Young not out at 48. He batted number three. Rashin Ravindra not out 39. And Bumrah picked up the only 2 wickets to fall. And that is that when it comes to that first test, India versus New Zealand. And the second test, that's going to start on Thursday, the 24th to the 28th. And New Zealand is touring India. And we are going to see how that one works out. But speaking about cricket, my, Sammy getting some blows. He had an interview, and I saw part of the interview, and one of the things a lot of cricketers make a mistake with, they call the pitch the wicket. They keep saying the wicket was playing this way, the wicket played that way. It was a good wicket to bat on, but it's supposed to be the pitch. The wicket is the set of stumps with 2 bails on it. Even though you don't use bails at time, if the wind is high and it's blowing them off. And while we're at it, I didn't remember saying good night to my good friend Eustace Hendrickson. My apologies, Eustace. And he is from Bass State, former manager of Elimat and the GS Bass. He's now living with his family in Texas. And we say good evening as well to Dennis Shungbung Warner and all the other Sandy Pointers and Kittitians and Nivisions living in the diaspora. And Eustace, he is an ardent listener to the program, and I thank you, and all the local listeners. But Sammy, he said that the pitch was a 200 pitch and it can't be 200 today and 150 tomorrow and all sort of things. Plus, I think what he really got stick about said they had a successful series. The West Indies lost the series 2-1, but he said something to the effect that he had a successful series. Yes, though you lose, you'll take things out of it, positives, and you'll build on that. But Sammy got quite a bit of stick in the, if we look at what happened, West Indies touring Sri Lanka on Sunday, October the 13th, the first one day, West Indies won by 5 wickets. Sorry, the first T20, West Indies won by 5 wickets. The second one on Tuesday the 15th, Sri Lanka won by 73 runs. And on Thursday the 17th, West Indies lost, Sri Lanka winning that game by 9 wickets. And if we look quickly at the scores from the 15th, Sri Lanka 162 for 5, and Nissanka opening 55 from 49. Kusal Mendes, the wicketkeeper, he opened 26 from 5. Kusal Pereira 24 from 16, batting at 3, and Mendes 19 from 14, batting at number 4. In the wickets, Azari Joseph 1 for 33 from his 4. Shamad Joseph opening 1 for 35 from 3. Romario Shepherd, he was extremely tight, 4 overs 13 runs, but he didn't touch a pad. Moti, that was Moti. Romario Shepherd 2 for 23 from 3. Shamar Springer 1 for 24 from 2. And West Indies' turn at the crease, needing to make 163 for victory in 50 overs. They were basically skittled out, 89 all out. Only 2 persons got into double figures. Shafin Rutherford 14 from 16. Roman Powell, 20 from 17. And in my view, I wonder if they shouldn't just play the youngster, Joel Andrews, notwithstanding he was picked for the 50 overs. But try him in here for the 20 and see what happens. He had some good scores in our CPL. And Vic Shanna, he got picked up 2 wickets for 7 runs. Will Elage, 3 for 9 from 4 overs first change. The captain, Asalanka, 2 overs, 6 runs, 2 wickets. Why these guys had a field day. Hasaranga, he was extremely expensive, 3 for 32, picking up 2 wickets nonetheless. And that was the second one-day international. And that, forgive me, the second T20. Come on, Biff. You're getting ahead of yourself. The third T20 now was October the 17th. Sri Lanka won by 9 wickets. West Indies 162 for 8. And what do we have here? Brandon King, 23 from 19. Opening the batting, Shea Hope, the wicketkeeper, 18 from 25, first change. Rovman Powell, batting at, is it the 6? Batting at number 6. He was 37 from 27 balls. And Gudakesh Moti batting at 7, 32 from 15 balls. And ones and twos, the Sri Lankans, when they batted, they made this thing look extremely small, man. 166 for 1 in 18 overs. The Sanka, the opener, he was 39 from 22. Mendes, the wicketkeeper, 68 from 50. And Pereira, Mendes not out, Pereira not out, 55 from 36. These guys get a lot of stick. Fabian Allen, 2 overs, 23 runs, didn't touch a pad. Ari Joseph, 3 from overs, 38 runs, didn't touch a pad. Gudakesh Moti, picked up 1 for 31 from 4. Shamar Joseph, 26 from 2. Romario Shepherd, 24 from 3. Raston Chase, 24 from 4. None of them touched a pad. And that meant that the Sri Lankans not only won the match by 9 wickets, they also won the series 2-1. But hold on, things ain't finished yet. Sunday last, the first one-day international, and the one-day international, that's the 50-over version. We have the T20, and the ODIs are one-day international, 50 overs. We have Sri Lanka winning by 5 wickets, and they had some Duckworth-Lewis system. Did I ever say I don't believe in Duckworth-Lewis? Nah, I don't believe in Duckworth. I understand what they're trying to do. And just to recap, and one of the gentlemen, Duckworth-Lewis, can't remember which one, but he passed recently. Condolences to his family. What they're saying, when you start your innings, the team that bats first, they don't have a tangible target to aim for, so to speak. They have to set in their minds what target they're going to go at. Do we want, okay, guys, we're going to go down and try to score at 7 runs and over, which is 140, or 8 runs and over, which is 160, etc., etc. They don't have anything to aim at except a target they themselves set. And that could be somewhat disadvantageous. And, of course, sometimes they go beyond their target, sometimes they fall way below. Now, when the second team goes to bat, they have all their resources. And those resources would be the 11 batters. They have 10 wickets, as well as their 20 overs. So they know their target. They know they have to make 150 to win, or 183 or 232. They know it. So they know how many runs per over they need to score to achieve their target. So, and that is a tangible target, so to speak. So they have a so-called advantage because they know what to work for. And once there are interruptions, at some point the interruptions appear to favor the team that batted first. Other times it appears to favor the team that batted in second. You might have the first team making, 160 runs, so you have 161 to make. But there's an interruption and they tell you have to make 165. That's because of how the Duckworth-Lewis operates and how many wickets have fallen in how many overs and what was the score. And once the first innings ends, that's the team batting first, the Duckworth-Lewis, the target scores are printed. Some are printed, there are two types. Some by the end of the over, the end of the first over, your target score should be 15 without loss, I don't know. And then the other one is by ball. And it also has one if you haven't lost any wickets, if you lost 1 wicket, 2 wickets, etc., etc. And I believe in the old average. You make 140 in 20 overs, that's 7 runs and over. So the team got to make 7 runs and over plus 1, because they have to make 141. So they work from there. But then that's just me. That is not the way of the world. And it doesn't mean that I can't have a different opinion, which I do. Now, where are we? The first one-day international. Sri Lanka won by 5 wickets. And West Indies won the toss, and they opted to bat. And this dig. I am having a little challenge here. And if you just give me a second while I sort it out. As a matter of fact, perhaps it is a good time for us to go for a break. It's 7:28. So let us go for a break and stick and stay. Don't go away. We will be back in a second.
My troubles keep coming. I need to see some bright and
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WINN FM. You found the sound. 98.9. WINN FM. Better music, better talk, better radio.
You're on the best radio station, you know.
Yes, you don't have to tell me that. I know. WINN FM, of course.
I'm listening, honey. I am listening.
98.9 WINN FM. St. Kitts and Nevis listens to
WINN FM 98.9.
WINN FM 98.9. WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WINN FM.
Thank you. Welcome back to On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9 with me, Troy Bif Mills, your host. On the Ball heard every Tuesday, WINN FM 98.9 from 7 to 9 p.m. And this is actually our anniversary month. And it's making, we've made our first anniversary. The first broadcast was the 10th of the 10th, which is the Taiwanese, their Independence Day. And I say goodnight to my daughter Carrie in the States. She was actually born on the 10th of October back in 1990. I was up there with her and spent a little bit with her. And she's actually engaged and she's pregnant. So I guess that means in English I'm going to be a granddad. Oh, that's exciting. Congratulations, Carrie and Corey, and the best wishes. And thank you for staying with us on the ball here at WINN FM 98.9 and tuning in to the show. And before the break, we were talking about the West Indies and the Duckworth-Lewis system. And this is one of the crazy situations why I said I don't like Duckworth. West Indies, they won the toss. And they decided to bat first. It's a 50-over match. And the match was affected by rain, so the Duckworth-Lewis had to kick it. So the West Indies, 185 for 4 from 38.3 overs. And we had Casey Carty batting at number 3, 37 from 58. And Sheffield Waterford batting at 5, 74 from 82. Waston Chase not out 33 from 33. A run a ball 33. And both of them, Sheffield Waterford and Waston, not out. Who didn't bat in that one day international were Mario Shepard, Hayden Walsh, Gudakesh Moti, Jaden Seals, Alzari Joseph. And when Sri Lanka went into bat, bearing in mind I said West Indies made 185 for 4. Sri Lanka had to make 232 from 37 overs. This is the kind of thing why I really don't like it. A team makes 185 for 4. And you're telling the other team you got to make 232? But anyway, they knocked it off. Madushka opening 69 from 54 balls. And the captain, Asalanka, he batted 5th, 77 from 71. There was an 18 and a 30. The Sri Lankans, 234 for 5, winning that game by 5 wickets with 31 balls to spare. Could you imagine that? From 31.5 overs. And in terms of the wickets, Alzari Joseph, 6 overs, 39 runs, 2 wickets. Gudakesh Moti, this guy has been picking up wickets here and there. He may not get a 5 or 4, but a little one here, 2 there, over there, and a 3 across the corner. And he chipped in with a 3. 8 overs, 47 runs, 3 wickets, and nobody else touched a pad. And Sri Lanka winning that game, taking a 1-0 series in the 3 ODI series. And what we have in here is the second one, which is coming up tomorrow, God spear, October 23rd. So the Sri Lankans, they're going to go for the series win. The West Indies, on the other hand, they are going to prevent that at all cost. And hey, since we're on the cricket scene, we might as well say stay on the cricket scene, but this time let's come a yard. Old people say you got to dance a yard before you dance abroad, but we dance abroad before we dance a yard. And we're talking about the St. Paul's Cricket Club's T20 cricket tournament. That kicked off on the 12th of October and is scheduled to finish on the 23rd of November. And it is being sponsored by the Right Honorable Dr. Denzil Douglas, the Honorable Dr. Joel Clark, Carib Breweries, and DJ Jeffroy Mary Show. So that is tremendous stuff happening there. And if we look at some results, St. Paul Stingrays versus Police. St. Paul's Stingrays, they were 160 for 5 from their 20 overs, and bowling out Police 52 for 52 in 17.1 overs. For the Stingrays, we had E. Richards opening the batting, 63 from 38 balls. Boy, that's a lot of wood, a lot of bat. And LaShawn Bergen. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to keep our eyes on this LaShawn Bergen. I think, one, he's going to go on to play for West Indies senior team. Well, obviously, he's got to get into the West Indies under 19, etc., etc. And it's unfortunate that when they played earlier in the year, they didn't pick a leeward. They didn't have a West Indies under 15 tournament. I think they should have picked a side and just have them play even a Guyana, Barbados, something. Give the youngsters an opportunity to say they represented West Indies under 15. He was 43 from 39 balls opening the bowling. And that was the end. You have some small scores there. 160 for 5 from their 20 overs. And in terms of the bowling, H. Thomas, 2 for 44 from 4. Wow, that's a lot of bat. O. Pope, I wonder if this is the Ollie Pope from England. No, it's the Hope. The Pope. 1 for 23 from 2 overs. And Z. Peters, 1 for 12 from 2 overs. And Police, their turn at the crease. Opener A. Baptist, he was 24 from 35. And he's the only person to score 12, more than 12. Z. Peters, batting down the order. He was 11 from 23. The bowling, Sheena Berridge. Opening the bowling, he had a maiden. What am I seeing here? A maiden, a double wicket maiden over. What that means in English, he had 1 over, which was a maiden. Maiden mean no runs came off of him, and he picked up 2 wickets. So he bowled 6 balls, 2 wickets, and 4 dot balls. J. Clark, I wonder if that's Jalil, 4 overs, 1 for 10. A. Keynes, Tony, this guy's been around like for forever. He plays football, he plays cricket, and he's a defender for St. Paul's, a very short guy, but his jump ability is tremendous. He first changed 4 overs, 13 runs, 2 wickets. J. Ward, 4 overs, 10 runs, 2 wickets. LaShawn Bergen again. This guy's name just keep popping up here and there. And he was the 3rd change. So they had the opening bowlers, 1 from each end. They change one end, they change the other end, they change one end, and they bring him in from the other end. 3.1 overs, 1 maiden, 16 runs, 3 wickets. A very, very, very nice all-rounder in the making, and he's only 16. I'm surprised I didn't see him or I didn't hear of him for the St. Kitts team in the recently Leeward Islands tournament. I believe he may have been able to make the team, but they should have, in my view, not have him just around, but have him a little more obvious so people could see him, he could enjoy it. But he's going to go a long way. He made the Leeward Islands on the 17 team as well. They didn't do too well. I expect next year he's going to make the West Indies on the 17 and perhaps the West Indies on the 19. And again, you would recall earlier in the season, the Sandy Point Benevolent Society, they outfitted him with a complete cricket kit, a kit that costs quite a few $1,000s. And we had a pair of batting boots, a pair of bowling boots, a bat, a bag, of course, a helmet, tie pad, arm guard. What am I missing? Shirt and a pant. And they realized, the Sandy Point Benevolent Society, the president is Dr. Stuart Williams. He taught physics and science at the then Sandy Point High School. And these are Sandy Pointers, how should I put it? Living abroad, but there's also a branch here in St. Kitts in Sandy Point. Miss Shermel Stevens, she's the president of the Sandy Point Benevolent Society St. Kitts branch. And they presented a complete cricket kit to this youngster because they've seen the promise and they see him. And that is an excellent thing. And we need to do more of that. We need to encourage our youngsters. And if we get back to the scores now, where was this? This was Police and St. Paul's. And if we go a little further, this was a close game. Project Stars, they were 82 for 7, and they lost 87 for 4. For Project Stars, what we had, E. Richards opening 27 from 18. LaShawn Bergen again, 20 from 23. And he was actually the captain of this team. So I like that. He was the vice captain of the Leeward Islands on the 15 team. And he's the vice captain. And I must commend Coach Percy Sly Daniel. And that is what coaching is about. Coaches is not telling you how to play your shots and how to feel and bat, etc. It's also spotting talent. And you see a player and you could look deep within and say, hey, he'll make a good captain, he'll make a good this, a good that, and you start working on him. And that is what he actually did with Jazara Claxton. He picked Jazara Claxton out of nowhere. And I'll dare say he's responsible for Jazara Claxton being on the West Indies team. And I'll argue she's going to make the West Indies senior team just now. If not next year, the year after. And she's about, 17 now, I think? 18? I think she should have been in Sri Lanka. But nonetheless, she wasn't there. And I think she's going to go on and captain the West Indies female team. Today is the 22nd of October 2024. You could say I said that. I predicted that. And where were we now? In terms of the bowling, T. Stevens bowling down the order, the pick of the bowlers. 4 overs, 2 maidens, 12 runs, 3 wickets. Cardell Cook, this youngster. And I say good night to Curtis Cook, whose chances are he's listening. And even though I didn't say it, there's always a standing order. You can call and make your contributions to the program. And I can't forget Jam Down abused me half a night because I didn't say it. And he was cooping to call in. Good night, Jamster. How you doing, my boy? Hope everything well. 466-0989. That is the number to call. 466-0989. Or if you're shy, you could WhatsApp me. 668-2055. And we'll share your comments on radio. Again, you can go live 466-0989, 662-0989. Cordell Cook. He played for the Leeward Islands on the 19. And I'm not certain if we, as the Cricket Association, St. Kitts Cricket Association, if we're investing enough in him, if we're supporting him enough, we're encouraging him enough. In a T20 match, I think he had 4 overs. Was it a T20 or 50 overs? He had something like 5 runs, 10 wickets. Sorry, not 10 wickets, 5 wickets. He got a 5-for. A nice little neat cricketer. And I remember Curtis Cook walking around him from since he was a little boy. Me reaching him about his knee or so. And he has done well, Curtis. all fathers could be half as good with their children as Curtis has been or is being, we would have had a lot of better sportsmen. And I remember a few years back, Curtis had an issue because his son was going to, was it Maurice Hillier School? And they had a primary school competition. But Maurice Hillier didn't have a team. And he organized and he got him to play with some other school. Dr. William Connor, Tucker Clark, I can't remember. And he played 1 or 2 matches and then they played some other school and the coach for the school objected and he was withdrawn from the tournament. I think that was sad because perhaps, who knows, had he been allowed to complete that tournament, he may have been a lot of that further. He may have been in the West Indies under 19 team. We won't know. We won't ever know. But people like him supposed to be around the St. Kitts team, in my view. And where are we now? And diggity gag. We just spoke about the 82. And in terms of the 87, the strikers, we had SKN Thunder Strikers. And they won the game. They were 87-4. And just a second, I'm getting a WhatsApp from overseas. And thank you very much. And where are we now? DeAndre Dew, batting at number 3. He was 35 from 30. This is a youngster. I think he's out of the Molineux Lodge region, Cairn region. His dad is actually from Sandy Point, have relatives in Sandy Point. They're related to Bunny. Don't know persons who know Bunny. Bunny James Pemberton, the longest serving starter in the Caribbean. He has been starting for the last 49 years since he was a little boy using flag. I'm trying to encourage him to go for the half a century, but he has packed it up, call it a day. So this youngster Drew, he's related to him, and he was 35. And that was all that was required in terms of, and this again is the St. Paul's League, in terms of the wicket. K. Sent, he got 3 for 28 from 4 overs. And that was that for that match. And when we look at another match here, what do we have? We have La Poinciana, 72 all out from 20 overs. Young Guns, 77 from 6 from 11 overs. Why these guys knock off? This one's in no time. And again, this is out of the St. Paul's League, which is sponsored by the Right Honorable, let me tell you the full thing, the St. Paul's Cricket Club. It's a T20 competition, and it runs from the 12th of October to the 23rd of November. And it is sponsored by the Right Honorable Dr. Denzil Douglas, former Prime Minister, and representative for constituency number 6, St. Paul's, Dr. Joyelle Clark, Senator in the National Assembly, who's also from St. Paul's, and she's the daughter of Theo Clark, I guess. St. Paul synonymous to cricket and football. They are the defending champions. And we go to the line as we have a call. We say good evening to this caller. Good evening, caller. You're live on WINN FM 98.9 on the ball. Good evening, caller. You're live on the ball here at WINN FM 98.9. Hello. Good night, sir. How are you? Yes, it is on the ball. Thank you for calling. You're live on. Yes, sir. Live and living color.
I'm so happy with all those information you're giving out right now.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yes. Try.
You're putting me in politics, caller, and thank you for listening. No, no. Yes. Well, first off, this is a competition organized by a club that is registered with the St. Kitts Cricket Association, St. Paul's. So it's like a private enterprise. I suspect that the
The reason why I asked you that, and I know you're a politician. But let me continue.
Uh,
Why I asked that Troy.
mm. Yes, I'm listening, you sir.
Yes.
Perhaps you should try to turn down your listen from it rather than listen from your computer, because there's a delay. Yes,
So there's Douglas
Yes, sir.
DJ Mauricio, right?
along with Carrie Breweries.
Yeah, so
Try turning down your volume on your computer
okay.
and listen.
I'm on the phone
Yeah,
now.
okay, fair enough. Indeed.
Okay, Troy.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm saying that I'm glad that people come into the sport and sponsoring these kind of sports because we have a lot of talent there who need the opportunity. And after this tournament, and this is a private thing, after that is done, they must have some contingency plan, Mogaham. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I agree.
They must have some contingency plan after that is done. Because I know the West Indies Cricket Board, they say they're having some tournament, right? And I think that they could really move forward instead of waiting for that. So that whenever this tournament is done, and then they part of the Singles Association, as you mentioned, that, and I know we're going to have Willie O'Donnell and Harry Kane, if that's what they call them. But Charlie, let me ask you a question. And I know you say you're a politician, but you could organize things. And listen to the question. At this time every year, we hear who will be a national hero, national. It's up to now. I have not heard anything. I don't know if they have done anything. But listen to my question. I believe that 3 people should be honored: Elimat, Tim Collins, and Willett. I know last year organization in Nevis, because there's some criteria you have to do for them to get selected or nominated. Okay? And I know there's an organization needs to get a list. And I know you see the list, Troy, because I know you sign on it too. Right? For Willett. Okay? It seems like, no, the only people that is designed as a politician, in my opinion. Okay? Now, we know a lot of people getting honorary doctorate. Right, Troy?
Yes, sir.
You ain't think that I mean, since that those guys can't come national hero, you ain't think that we should pursue that and see if we get them honorary doctorate? The same 3 names I just mentioned.
Well, first off, caller, I support you 100% with the three names. I have been making the argument for years now, and it's my humble view that Elimat, we need to award him as a national hero.
Remember, James is a very influential person now. Maybe you need to seek his assistant.
Perhaps. But I've been saying it for quite a few years. Before there was the
Yeah.
minister. Yeah, I'm hearing you, caller.
Yeah,
Before,
I'm saying that James is a very influential person. You could have asked him to assist you.
okay.
And then a lot of people have been trained, but to no success, to no avail.
I understand. I know there's a concern about us not wanting to have too many national heroes because it will sort of water down the significance of the award. And we do have...
But, I hear you, but I not agree with you. If somebody go out and do what they have to do, like Kim Collins, right? Kim Collins went all over the world and he promoted St. Kitts. I remember in 1996 when he won in Atlanta, there was Dr. Simmons and his daughter, and there was just few people from St. Kitts was there. I was up there too.
Okay. The thing is,
But try.
Yes, sir.
People are always talking about things watered down. People should get something when they deserve it.
I agree wholeheartedly with that. Before, in my humble view, before tourism and the ministry and the Minister of Tourism became so significant, so popular, there was Elimat and the GA's Brass. They would have toured the world. They got road march in St. Thomas. They tied it in, well, they tried to have
They also won
in Trinidad.
They had a musical champion thing down there in Element 22.
Exactly.
The Germany Brass was a top band.
Exactly. And they traveled the world when people didn't know anything about St. Kitts and Nevis. Elimat and the GS Brass were the ones to put them on the chart. El Comida Willett, the first lander
It
to play for
ain't
West
nothing
Indies.
about water down. People should get their flowers while they're alive. And if you go,
I agree. And
if they go out and perform and promote the country, they should be given the opportunity, just like all those politicians who got it there now.
I understand that. I support you. It was just, was it last week? Recently, Dr. Sir Courtney Ambrose, he was given a doctorate.
Okay.
By Five Islands
that's
University.
What I was just telling you. If you could approach it from that way, so that they could get something. If they can't be knighted heroes, maybe we could get them the honorary doctorate too. Them same three people.
Perhaps. And I can tell you the St. Kitts Nevis Athletics, and for those who listening may not know, the former SKN AAA, St. Kitts and Nevis Amateur Athletics Association, they have rebranded themselves.
I was trying to call in last week when the guy was there. But I couldn't get in.
Okay.
But this is something that maybe they could pursue.
Well, they have made Kim Collins an ambassador for track and field.
Yeah, I heard them say that.
So
and that is good.
Yeah, it is
right?
indeed. It is indeed.
But they need to go the extra mile.
I agree. And the thing about El Comida Willett, we now have a third generation Willett following in his grandfather's footsteps. Acadiento Willett, who is Tonito's son.
I see him in the Leeward Islands.
Yes, he has made the Leeward Islands team. So there's that continuity. And I agree with you. There should be some recognition for the three of them. One for culture, two for sports. One for track and field, and one for cricket. And I suspect we might see that happening sometime, because a lot of persons have been asking.
I listened to Dr. Douglas. He was on 2020 Vision about 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about how these people get their award and so. You know, maybe they should revisit it and change it a little bit.
Okay. And I think it will come. The thing about it is, I'm not certain if recommendations are being made and if how many and how often.
Recommendations that I make all the time. You know that last year, NRP had a list, and they do it in Nevis and they send down to St. Kitts. You know about that, Troy?
No, I don't know, but I suspect
Come, watch me.
entities.
Just keep your head straight so you see me.
No, I really don't know Eustace, but I suspect it does not have to be political parties. It could be individuals like yourself, myself. It could be organizations. We think it's Nevis Football Association. It could be community groups. Recommendations with the necessary supporting information would be made. There's a committee that will look at all the recommendations. And you mentioned the fact that recognition, the 2024, there were quite a few persons who were recognized, the companion of the
Yeah, I
staff
know.
merit,
I'm
etc.
aware of that.
But I
I'm aware of
agree
that.
with you. Something substantial needs to be done. And what jumps out at me, Juju, Alfred from St. Lucia winning the Olympic gold. I was watching the ceremony, a national ceremony, where she got $1 million and land and all sort of things.
And 750,000 from, yeah.
Exactly.
But me never talking about that. I just want them get where they're supposed to get.
I hear you, caller, and I think they will eventually get there. And I know you're passionate. It's not the first time we have discussed it. And who knows? Maybe one of these days, with your passion and your drive, you make that recommendation. That might be the icing on the cake, so to speak.
I'm gonna walk with you, and Jamson are going to make the recommendation because Jamson is a very influential man, you know.
Okay. And okay, Carla, we appreciate your input, and it's nice that you're listening. I know you're one of the ardent listeners to the program, and when you're calling, you always send your comments, whether to me personally on WhatsApp or you put them on the chat, and we do appreciate that, and we thank you for that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for accommodating me for so long.
I appreciate that.
All right,
Eustace.
You know,
thanks.
Jamson is a founding member of the St. Kitts Music Festival. Not a member. Yeah, he was a member. He was in charge of the secretariat, you know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Ask him there, no?
Yeah, I'll have to have a conversation with him.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first one, who it was? They had a list of William was there, and we thought that he was there to meet, and we brought him Jamson. He did a good job.
Oh, well, I didn't realize that, but kudos to Jamster. I
But
know
he's here and there with you right now.
No, he's not. I have DJ Tough House here producing the show, not Jamster.
Oh. Yeah. Whenever you meet up, ask him.
I'll do that. Thanks a lot. And thanks for
All
calling,
right,
sir.
have a nice evening. Safe drive home.
Thank you, sir.
Take care of
Appreciate
yourself.
it. Okay, we'll do it.
All right, goodbye.
Okay, bye. And that was a caller. I dare say Mr. Eustace Hendrickson calling all the way out of Texas. We appreciate that. Thank you for calling and sharing his views. He's always listening to the program, and he makes his recommendations and suggestions. But we're expecting a guest. Our guest, he may be calling in as opposed to in studio. It's now 4 minutes after 8. He should be on at 8. And I saw him. I suspect he was calling. But just before we step away from the St. Paul's Cricket League, and the question he asked, I'm not certain what the organizers have planned, if they're going to pick an 11 or 15, a best team, and engage a club, maybe the National Under 19 team, the National Under 17 team. I'm not certain what they're going to do, but it'll be nice to recognize the performers here. And we actually have another caller. This might be my guest. And good evening, caller. Hello. Good night. Are you hearing me? Hello. Good night. If you're hearing me, I'm not hearing you. Do you mind calling back again, please? If you're hearing me, I'm not hearing you. Hello? I suspect that was my guest. He apologized for not being able to make it in person, but he would have called in. Let's try this one. Good evening, caller. Welcome to On The Ball 98.9 with FM. Hello, I am. If you're hearing me, I'm not hearing you. Okay. There's a saying that head make book. Right, DJ Tough House. Let us try it this way. Good evening, caller. Welcome to On the Ball 98.9. I suspect this is, I'm wondering if this is my guest. If you're hearing me, I'm not hearing you. If you're hearing me, I'm not hearing you. Could you please hang up and give us a sec? We'll call you back. We'll call you back in a second. Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball. in sport, tune into On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball. Thank you very much for holding and welcome back to On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. I am Troy Bif Mills, your host, and we have with us now our guest for tonight, and Mr. Eustace Maynard. Good evening, Eustace, and how are you, sir?
Good evening to you, Troy. You can hear
me? Yes, we are hearing you clearly, sir.
Clearly? Okay, a very special good evening to you and to all the listeners, especially here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I really should have been in studio, but I not available, so I decided to join you by the telephone, and I'm very happy to have this very important discussion. There's so much that is going on around the world, and especially in terms of the West Indies team, the senior men's team and the females team. So we have quite a bit to discuss, and also in terms of the 50 overs, which is scheduled to start, I think, officially around the 29th. So just around the corner, we'll be having cricket in the region. But I also must take the opportunity and say a very special good evening to all the listeners, wherever you are around the world. Many who are tuned in at this time to this very, very important program. And we welcome all the listeners, and we hope that they would stay tuned until the end, that we can have a very important discussion, because we have quite a bit to share this evening, and I am very happy to be a part of this program. I also want to say quickly that we are approaching the end of the hurricane season, which is something that I take very seriously, and just about 144 days would have gone so far, and about some 39 days left, and we hope that we continue to be safe, because the Master has spared us, and we are very, very happy and thankful for this wonderful safety that he has really blessed our country. And so I'm really happy to be here, and I am definitely looking forward for this great discussion this evening.
Thank you very much, Eustace. Let's spend a few minutes on the recently concluded Leeward Islands cricket tournament, the T20 cricket tournament, before we go on to the West Indies. It was held here in St. Kitts. We had 5 teams competing: St. Kitts, Nevis, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, and the Combined Islands. Combined Islands because we had players from Montserrat, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and the British Virgin Islands. What were your thoughts on that competition?
Well, first of all, we must welcome cricket. Any cricket that is played, is always welcome. And I am very happy that the Leeward Island board, have decided. They have been very dormant over the years. And, especially at the 2-day version, because I am really, to be honest, interested in the longer version, Test cricket. That is my thing, right? This money cricket, where it's just entertainment, people who cannot bat, cannot bowl. They're making all kind of riches around the world, and they're not really, to be honest, interested in development and progress and giving the Caribbean, giving the region, giving our country the best representation. It's just a matter of getting the opportunity to play the money cricket, and then that is all that that is very important to them. In terms of the tournament, which we would have seen and witnessed some very good performances, and I would have mentioned, especially the last time when I was in the studio with you, I mentioned in reference to Mr. Clark. Mr. Clark, I am telling you, and that is where I blamed the leadership in the Leewards for not giving us the opportunity to play cricket, the guys them to play cricket, because Mr. Clark is the best wicketkeeper in the region. And when he played for the West Indies youth team, the present one of the keepers in the West Indies setup, which is the guy from Imlak, from Guyana, would have been in around the West Indies youth team. And plus the guy from Trinidad was 3 of them. And Clark was number 1. Clark was number 1. Well, these guys have gone ahead of Clark because of lack of opportunities for Clark in the Leewards. Now Clark is given an opportunity. He's getting older. Fortunately, he's still young. And I have not seen anybody in the region can keep like Clark. So I expect this now, because I will ask you the question in terms of the selection in the Leewards team. Why they are going with Jamal Hamilton at this stage? Why? Because I am looking forward to see what decision are they going to make, because I don't expect them to have Clark on the bench. So are you going to play Hamilton mainly as a batsman?
I think that is the plan, because I don't think he kept too many games, if any, in the competition. And remember, this competition was used to select the Leewards team, which they have announced, and Jamal Hamilton is in it. Jaleel Clark, he is also in it. And for the benefit of the listeners, if you allow me to mention the team quickly: Raheem Cornwall, captain; Dimitri Adams, he was the captain of Anguilla. A nice leggy, he opening the bowling for them. He got a fifer, he made a century. Chesney Hughes, the top run scorer in the tournament. Jamal Hamilton, he's in there. Acadiento Willett, that is the grandson of El Comido Willett. Kadeem Henry out of Antigua. This is a youngster who bowls with his left hand and he bowls with his right hand just as good. He's not fumbling. He could bowl all match with either hand. He's ambidextrous. Kofi James, Javier Spencer, Mikael Louis, Jeremiah Louis, Jaleel Clark, Justin Graves, he's the vice captain. Daniel Doram, he didn't play in the competition, but he has been included. Remember, he made the Netherlands team for the World Cup, but he picked up, unfortunately, an injury just before. And O'Shane Thomas. The reserves are Tyrone Williams Jr. of Antigua and Barbuda. He's an opener. He made the first century in the tournament. Kareem Agour, Kareem Pennyfeather, and Colin Archibald. We will have Hayden Walsh, Casey Carty Jr., and Joel Andrews joining the squad when they return from West Indies duties. We have the head coach is Steve Liebert, and he'll be assisted by Wilden Cornwall as the assistant coach and manager, Tony and Grant as the team's physiotherapist, and Dark Brown out of Nevis as the massage therapist. That is the team that they have selected. I know there has been some discussion. There's a youngster from Nevis batting in the middle. He made a century, not out and a half a century. I can't remember his name at the moment, but he's not even in the reserves. I know that has created some discussion around. But I think this is a decent team, and the policy of the West Indies board of having players from various territories playing a sort of semi-franchise system. So we have Justin Graves and O'Shane Thomas. A lot of persons are arguing that these two, one, they are keeping out players from the Leewards from playing here, and two, in the past, some players, they couldn't make their team, whether Jamaica, Barbados, and they would have been sent to the Windwards, the Leewards, and after 2-3 seasons, they not only made the team, but went on to make West Indies team. But what are your views in terms of this players from Jamaica per se playing, and especially if we're not seeing much reciprocity? We know Devon Thomas of Antigua and Barbuda. He played with Jamaica in the 40 tournament for quite a bit. But what are your thoughts on that?
Before I get on to this question, I want to take the opportunity to congratulate Steve Liebert for giving the opportunity to coach the Leewards team. This is a man who would have played at the regional level, and if was given or treated right, in terms of the right opportunity, he would have gone all of the way. This guy is a tremendous talent, and I am also looking forward for him. He didn't get a chance to play for the West Indies, but I expect him in the future to coach the West Indies team. Mark my word. But let me get on to the question that you would have asked in reference to the overseas players. I do not agree. Nobody from outside of Barbados is playing for the Barbados team. Same thing with the Trinidad and things like that, right? Graves, yes, is a decent cricketer. Nice talent and so on things. But even if they decide to even pick him, giving him vice captain, Jeremiah Lewis should have been the vice captain of the team. That is what I think they should have done in terms of the vice captain position. And in terms of Thomas, I am not too sure what Thomas is bringing to the table. Thomas shown so much promise, yes, and in terms of 2020 cricket, he has not really developed progress over the years to match his potential. And I believe that there are other young talent in the Leewards could have been given the opportunity. A young Pennyfeather who can bring something with the bat, with the ball, a decent all-rounder. So I want to say that I really, to be honest, don't agree with the decision in having these guys, because they are definitely keeping our guys out of the team. They're more with actually another two persons would have been given the opportunity and should have been given the opportunity to play for the Leewards.
Very interesting views indeed. and a lot of persons are supporting the view. We have enough here. Let the players from Jamaica play with the Jamaican team, etc., Barbados, Guyana, wherever you're from. Because we're not seeing, yes, for example, we've seen Cornwall and Alzari Joseph playing with the St. Lucia Kings in CPL or what have you. But we're not seeing much of the Leeward players playing for Guyana, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad. So the general feeling is, if it's not going to be a Gwali system, let us keep our own players. And
no,
now,
but Troy, you just mentioned in terms of Cornwall and others and so. Though that is 2020 cricket, franchise cricket. We're talking about the West Indies 50 overs tournament, where the Leewards team should have people from the Leewards. Fortunately, at this time, even they wouldn't have played much cricket over the last maybe 5 to 10 years. We have tremendous talent right now in the Leewards. I mean, look at it. Guys would have made century and have done pretty well. They're not in the team, not in the setup.
Forbes,
There are other players who we can name. Tremendous talent and promise. And really, to be honest, should have been given the opportunity. There's nothing that these guys can do that other people cannot do. And the other guys are younger and can bring even more to the table because they can bat and bowl and also maybe even field. What Thomas can thing.
And
so I think that we need to really go back. Nobody outside of Barbados playing for Barbados. Nobody. They don't want anybody in the team. They want their own players to be unsure, and they are the only one they want to represent their country. Well, why? Why? We have so many people in the reserve and outside of the reserve who deserve to even be in the reserve and in the team because the talent is there. It's only the opportunity. Many persons were given the opportunity to play for the Leewards and went on. Just like, for instance, Lenny Lake could not get away to join the Leewards camp. Wrigley Jacob was called, and Wrigley Jacobs have, performed so well that he got into the Leewards team by giving an opportunity. Many people right now around the Leewards, young and talented, are capable of doing wonders for the Leewards, but they're not given the opportunity because these other two guys are there and keeping them out. And I really, to be honest, do not agree with this particular situation and development. And I hope that in the future we can correct this, and so young talent in the Leewards can be given the opportunity. We have our own West Indian player, Louis. I mean, this is someone who I am telling you, I have tremendous confidence in his ability, his quality, and I expect great things from this young talent. I expect, just turn 24, and still very young. Just got into, and this is another thing again. I talk about opportunity. He got one opportunity when he was denied from representing the Leewards, when they know for sure that he should have been in the Leewards team. But the politics in the Leewards, with certain things I will not get into this evening, he only got one opportunity, and that is what I have been asking for on the radio, off the radio. Just give Michael Louis one opportunity, and then he gonna be in the West Indies team. So said, so done. So said, so done. And he not only just got into the West Indies team, he dominated the tournament, made more runs than everybody, made more centuries than everybody, batted more hours and balls and everything than everybody.
Correct.
And I am definitely looking forward for his continuous opportunity, because we had an opening batsman also from the Leewards who was given opportunity, because Stuart William played 18 consecutive innings before he scored a half century. 18. Michael Louis done score a half century in far less than 18. Far less than 18. And even in the Patriots team, getting to the money cricket, he made the most runs in the first match, and he made the most runs in the last match. And do you know the nonsense? Making the most runs. After making the most runs, he was demoted. I mean, imagine. Imagine you are the best in the class, the brightest in the class,
And demoting
and
you.
then you're moved down from A1 to A2. Imagine.
And where he was playing in the Major League Cricket in the US, I think it was Washington, and he played in a match. The team lost, and he made 50 something.
Yeah.
Opening the batting. So he has really been pushing it. And Eustace, and I have a position, I really believe for this tournament we had, St. Kitts should have named him as the captain. I also believe that Antigua and Barbuda should have named Joel Andrews as their captain. And Nevis should have named Carlton Boyne Tuckett as the captain. At the end of the day, he was well respected, Tuckett, by Nevis in terms of the adjustment. He was wicket keeping. And normally there's that understanding the wicketkeeper helps to set the players. And before we move off, Tuckett, he has been given a 1-year contract with the West Indies. Himself, along with Jazara Claxton and Nathan Edwards, they have all been given that contract. And there's some 15, 16 youngsters who have had that privilege. So we say congratulations to them. But before we go quickly to the men's side of it, the Women T20 World Cup, New Zealand taking care of business against West Indies. West Indies losing by 8 runs, or New Zealand winning by 8 runs. New Zealand going on to win South Africa by 32 runs in the finals, after South Africa had defeated the mighty Australia. And remember, West Indies defeated England as well. What are your thoughts about that? The West Indies, New Zealand. The skipper, she didn't make a lot of runs. Do you think that perhaps too much reliance is made on her batting and bowling?
Well, before we get to that, let me just say one thing, because you would have mentioned in terms of the young captains for the different team in the Leewards. Maybe 2 of them I support in terms of Louis and Tuckett. But the Andrew fellow, definitely I will not support him. He has a lot of, time, and I believe that at his age, at this stage, that there are others in the team who are more qualified at this time to lead the Antiguan team, and let the young man concentrate on the bat, because he started so well even in the 2020
CPL.
the CPL, the money cricket, and he would have made top score in the first match. He ended up the tournament not even making the Antiguan team. He was dropped. He was just continue to decline during the tournament. So he definitely need to come back, and really regroup and, concentrate in establishing himself in the team you know, and down the road he probably maybe can maybe get a chance to maybe lead. I don't know in terms of his captaincy ability and quality and leadership and things like that. So just being somebody who has promise and maybe just made a West Indies team and whatever doesn't just automatically qualify him just to lead the Antiguan team, when maybe other persons might be more qualified at this time to lead the Antiguan team. But let me get on in terms of the question that you would have asked in reference to the World Cup for the females in this particular last tournament, that New Zealand happened to win that tournament. And it's always, I know sometimes people say the best team win the tournament, but it's not always the best team win the tournament, because the best team happened to lose a match when it was very vital, which was in the semi-finals, and they happened to lose against it was South Africa. The best team in the world is Australia, and if the best team could happen to have a bad day, and if the bad day happen to be the wrong day, then you end up in problem.
Indeed.
Right? So, but we just got to move on from that, because when it matters most, you have to deliver. So even if you're the best and you don't deliver on that day, then you have to come back another time. So we are looking at now West Indies and New Zealand. In terms of Hayley Matthew, the captain, yes, she is one of the top players in the team. Fortunately, they were joined with the comeback out of retirement of Miss Dutton, who we know is a world beater. She has everything, quality with the bat, quality with the ball. I mean, tremendous in the field, has the experience, have done it for the West Indies at this level, franchise, I mean, you name it. So she was one of the main players in the team with Matthew and also Taylor, who has declined over the years, but has the experience. And so, sometimes when you have the experience, you can show up on any day, at any time, in any match, right? And fortunately too, I have seen some things that I like and really enjoy, and which I believe is very good for the West Indies team. The bowler Henry, I think, is an excellent bowler, tremendous talent, and I think she's someone who we expect to lead the West Indies team in the future, and providing that she stays fit and continue to perform. I like also the look of the I think the left arm spinner, James. I think is an excellent talent.
Zaida James out of the Windwards.
Yes, a young talent, and also the talented, aggressive left-hander. I think she also is from St. Lucia.
Kiana Joseph.
Who opened. She's like a bully, and mean business. And she went there and she did the job, against England. Really, England had no answer for this young talent, and it so happened that we did not get the same performance against in the semis, when it matters most, but we really expected more from the captain, and it so happened that it was a day when the captain really was not in the best of form, and and then because chasing when need to chase 100 and around 20 something,
128,
really and truly, in a semi-finals and a decent pitch,
that should be quite gettable.
Yeah, I mean, definitely we should have won the game. I mean, many of the players. It's just a matter of when you are irresponsible, you can end up, giving away your wicket. Is a matter of, in terms of commitment, concentration, and very important, shot selection and discretion. And this is what was necessary, in this game. We had all the time in the world, 128 in 120 balls, and you will get more than 120 balls because you will get wide and no ball.
Correct.
And, extras and things like that. So they had the time. They had the time. And they have the talent, they have the experience and everything. And it really, 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 to be honest, was unfortunate because Dutton came out of retirement, and I know definitely would have liked to maybe go back into retirement and a high, after winning the World Cup.
In the bowling, she had 4 for 22 from her 4 overs, and she was the leading bowler for West Indies. And in the batting, she was the top scorer as well, 33 from 22. So she actually pulled her weight. But the question is, where do the West Indies females go from here? Do you expect to see any changes coming up?
Yes, I definitely. I expect in the near future to have, which is the tremendous talent, fortunately, is from St. Kitts. Miss Claxton, she should have been on that team in front of Nation. Nation that is, you could say just about maybe almost twice her age. And she has nothing much to offer. I think she had her best days, and her best days definitely are behind us, behind her.
37
and
years.
You have, and you have so much talent in the West Indies who you can invest in. You can invest because Miss Claxton, who can bat, who can bowl, who can feel, and it's only a matter of giving the opportunity to, show her worth and to perform, because she is somebody who definitely will be in the future for the West Indies team. So it should have been an investment in this World Cup for Miss Claxton. So I expect her. And there are others around the region who I expect to join the West Indies team, because we are not too sure how long Dutton will stay around. We are not too sure how long Taylor will stay around. But with the tremendous talent which we have in the West Indies, I believe putting them together, giving them the opportunity, I believe that we can build a tremendous force in the West Indies. And I believe in the next World Cup, we will be ready to compete and perhaps can take the World Cup as champion.
Now, if we step over to the men in Sri Lanka, the performances. We lost the T20 series 2-1. We've lost the first of 3 50-over matches. What are your views? Where do we go?
Well, as I said, it's a matter of discipline. It's a matter of commitment. It's a matter of patience. It's a matter of discretion and shot selection. And irresponsible cricket, irresponsible decisions in terms of the shot selection and discretion cost us a tournament. We won the first game, and West Indies went there, in the second game, played poorly. It wasn't a big total. They had all the time in the world. But, sometimes you just want to go there, and every ball should be a 4, should be a 6. That is not how you play cricket.
In terms of the team, Eustace, for the one-day international, the T20 has passed. Shea Hope, captain. Alzari Joseph, vice captain. Joel Andrew, the youngster from Antigua and Barbuda. Alec Athanaze, Casey Carty, Waston Chase, Matthew Ford, Shamar Joseph, Brandon King, Evan Lewis, Gudekesh Moti, Shafane Waterford, Jaden Seals, Romario Shepard, Hayden Walsh Jr. Anybody you knew of you should be out and who should be in?
Yeah, because there's nothing that Andrew have done to be in the West Indies team. There's nothing. You don't pick a team and promise. You pick a team based on performance and when you pick a team based on performance. And he has not done nothing. But Sammy, I can tell you, there's a lot of things I can say tonight, but I wouldn't get into certain things. He has certain gripe with certain players, and that is why Carl Mayes is out of the West Indies team. He should have been on the team. And the 2020 team, and the one day team. Right? He had done enough. And being one of the best talent in the region at this time. He's going to lead the Barbados team in the one-day tournament coming up.
But who would you leave out for him?
I'm saying that Andrew should not be in there. He not only that he should not be in there, he done nothing to be there.
But
nothing.
I am thinking Andrews, he may very well be a prospect for the West Indies on the 19 captaincy. And I'm wondering if this isn't a preparatory step for him to rub shoulders with the big boys, because the path he's on, I am of the view he's going to be keeping for West Indies just now in the next few years, and he's only 17, 18. So could it have been that, a developmental tour for him? And at the same time, puts him more on the radar for the West Indies on the 19 captaincy.
But I am saying, and I've said, and I will say again, you are selected, or you should be selected based on your performance. He has the opportunity to perform in the future. He's still young. So you do not just put somebody because you expect them to lead the West Indies youth team. You must perform to be in the West Indies senior team. And in terms of the keeping for the West Indies, I am saying that provided that Clark is given the rightful opportunity, Clark would be in the West Indies team. He was delayed, just like what they did to Mikhail. They done it to Clark, but Clark would get his opportunity. Providing he gets his opportunity, I expect him to be in the West Indies team. He's a better keeper. He's a better keeper than Andrew. And whatever runs Andrew can make, Clark can make the same runs.
Well, I know Clark, when they played in the tournament in Antigua a few weeks ago, Clark made a century, and I know he impressed the selectors with his batting ability.
Yes. What about his keeping ability?
And batting, and of course, the keeping. And he can also bowl as well. He does some off spin. So he'll have his opportunity now in the upcoming regional one-day tournament to make a mark for himself. And the way it is looking, he will be the first keeper in my humble view, the number one choice as the keeper. Because as we said earlier, and as I believe, Jamal Hamilton will be playing as a batsman in my view. And
since you have there, fortunately, a coach who understands, who is serious about what is best for the Leewards. As I said, he was not given the rightful opportunity to play many times when he should have been in the team, and also to lead the team, because Leeward is the only team anywhere, I can tell you, in the world that had 6 consecutive captains. 6 consecutive captains. I will not go into the names now. 6 consecutive captains and had Steve Leibod. And also, the coach of the day stated that he knows that Steve Leibod is the best captain in the Leewards. And he's the chairman of selectors. And he ain't picking Steve Leibod because he said that he hands tie.
Do you see
all the nonsense and the foolishness and the politics, doing a lot of foolishness? I am telling you, I'm going to tell you, that if Jamal Hamilton was from St. Kitts, he would not be in the team. He would not be in the team. If Chesley Hughes was from St. Kitts, he would have never made the team.
Even though Chesley has the most runs in the tournament?
Even he made Junie Mitchum, who was a far much better batsman, dominated the Leeward tournament with a brilliant double hundred. Over 1,000 runs. Was the best batsman in the whole tournament. And could not consistently find his way in the team when they had the Harrigan and the Waljon and all kind of people in the team, keeping out a young talent who went to England with the West Indies team. He and Sanja Paul were the 2 top players in the West Indies and definitely should have been given the opportunity to play for the Leewards team consistently, because they know that this was a young talent. He would have done much more than what Andrews would have done. Junie Mitchum would have done at that age, at that stage, far much more than Andrews would have done. And Andrews would have done nothing but find himself in the West Indies team. And Junie Mitchum at the youth level dominated. He and Sanja Paul came back, can't get in the Leewards team. And even when he dominated the Leewards tournament, can't get in the Leewards team. Because one of the things for the nonsense they have done to the Kittitians over the years. And this is something that need to be rectified. And I expect now we have a decent coach and also a decent chairman of selectors. I have confidence in these 2 leaders, and I expect them to call it right and make the best decisions in the best interest of Leewards cricket, and by extension, West Indies cricket.
Eustace, you have said quite a mouthful, extremely passionate. We are just about out of time. You have 30 seconds. Any final words, any final wrap-up?
Well, I wish the Leewards team the very best, and our own Louis, which is Michael, and Jeremiah, with Mr. Clark. Tremendous talent. 3 of them we expect to carry the weight. Michael with the bat, Jeremiah with the ball, and Clark with the gloves. So we expect these guys to really play a serious role. And I am very serious about Clark and giving the opportunity, because as long as he gets the opportunity, I am telling you, the West Indies, whether you can't even say selector, because I do not understand the nonsense setup that the West Indies would have introduced, where the coach, is given the opportunity, one of the major persons to select the team, and he's selecting people that he like, and who he don't like, he's keeping out of the West Indies team. I have a lot more to share on in terms of his particular position, and I hope that the West Indies team, the West Indies board, will really come to their senses. I don't know of any other team, the leading teams in the world, the South Africa, the England, the India, they have chairman of selectors and they have main selectors to select their their respective teams. So I hope that the West Indies board will done away with this foolishness and put people as chairman and selectors to select the West Indies team.
Yes.
So I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to share. Time goes so fast.
Indeed.
When you have fun, it's unfortunately that it must come to the time at the end when you have to run. But we're sorry that we have to leave. But if we don't leave, we can come back. So looking forward to do this all over again. And I wish you and the Federation the very best. And cricket in the future in terms of the West Indies 50 overs. I wish the Leeward Islands team the very best and expect them to bring the trophy home at the end of the tournament.
Eustace, we thank
good night.
Thank you very much.
And stay positive.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot. That was Mr. Eustace Maynard giving his penny hate me, or more or less 5 cents, on cricket, West Indies, Leeward Islands, St. Kitts, Leeward Islands, West Indies. And before we slip away, just a quick thing. The CONCACAF Nations League, congratulations to the Sugar Boys. They took care of business in League C. And they won that. The last match was drawn. And they actually won the zone. And they have, for their rewards, they'll be playing Cuba in a home and away series. And Cuba is one of the, it's not going to be an easy walkover. But the quarterfinals for the same CONCACAF League, we have Mexico versus Honduras, Canada versus Suriname, United States versus Jamaica, and Panama versus Costa Rica. These are 8 big clubs, 8 big countries. And the winners will advance to the CONCACAF Nations League finals and qualify for the 2025 CONCACAF Gold Cup. So we say best wishes to them. And Cayman Islands versus Guadeloupe. Cayman Islands was second in our zone. French Guyana versus Belize. Guyana versus Barbados. And in terms of cricket, in the St. Paul's T20 League, coming up on the 24th, week 3, at 2 p.m., La Poinciana versus that's a Saturday, 26. La Poinciana versus Police. And then on Sunday, 10 a.m., St. Paul's Stingrays versus Young Guns. And Project Stars versus Police at 2 p.m. And we say congratulations to the St. Paul's Cricket Club for putting on this. And also to the sponsors of the league. The Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas. The Honorable Dr. Joel Clark. Carrie Breweries, St. Kitts and Nevis Limited, and DJ Mary Show. We have had primary school football started. We didn't touch that, but we're going to be touching it. Track and field, there's a club that has been identifying the player, the athlete of the month, Flash Twitch Track Club, and that's Jediah Dinard, 14-year-old of Basti High. We say congratulations and best wishes. Security Forces, I like this. Jama Alford, he won the Golden Boots in the 2024 Rams on the 13th Premier Club, and he's from the Security Forces. And Security Forces, they're doing extremely well. They're just trying a thing with this, and they've produced a young Golden Boot. So congrats again to Inspector John Bergen and his team for working and bringing this up. You've been listening to On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. I am Troy Bif Mills, your host. It was indeed a pleasure for me to be here. And I thank you for listening. We had a very good discussion with Mr. Eustace Hendrickson, who called in extremely passionate, and Mr. Eustace Maynard, our guest of the night. We invite you to tune in again next week, Tuesday, from 7 to 9 p.m. here at WINN FM 98.9. And you can give us a call, 466-0989. We are indeed still searching for a sponsor for the program, and give our marketing department a call, 466-9586, and we'll be able to come up with a package with an arrangement, with an agreement. Whether you want to sponsor the entire program 1 night per month, the first hour, we'll be able to work something else. Give us a call, or you can actually call me, 668-2055. To my producer, Tough House Sounds, I say congratulations, another wonderful night, and I really appreciate it. Congrats to the West Indies females making it semi-finals, not going beyond. And the West Indies male team, wishing you best in the Sri Lanka. The 2 remaining 50 overs versus Sri Lanka. As I slip away, don't forget, tune in next week, Godspear. And I encourage you to always be positive in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. Have a good night. Thank you for joining me.